Hi guys, I got a different type of video for you today. It's aimed really at the younger Bond brethren, those young men out there who are looking for some advice in the mysteries of love, and hopefully I can shed some light onto that. So today we're going to talk about the 5 reasons why women find James Bond attractive, and what you can do to emulate them. So if that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Hi guys, it's me, and I've been wanting to make this video for quite a while now. I noticed back when I was bartending, a lot of people came to me for advice because as a bartender, you're a free therapist. And also, as Simon Firth described me, I'm a man of a certain vintage. So people are like, give me some of your wisdom. And the thing that I found myself giving advice on more than anything was love, romance, and women. And I think that's because I don't want to toot my own horn, but I know a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to that. What's that line from Thunderball?
You know much about guns, Mr. Bond?
No, I know a little about women.
So I write romance novels, and I've been fairly successful in that. I've sold 70,000 copies of my books, and romance novels are mostly written by women. And when I wanted to write romance novels that were going to be successful, I read a ton of romance novels written by women, and I continue to read romance novels written by women all the time. And it's remarkable. It teaches you a lot. It really does. There are all these blokes who are always going on, oh, women, they're so mysterious. It's like, they're only mysterious if you don't, like, talk to them or read their books or listen to the songs they play or just listen to them. It's actually kind of interesting how women work. Women work fundamentally different to the way men work. I say that women are like cats and men are like dogs. That's a topic for another video. But yeah, women's psychology is interesting. And I think it's really interesting in the context of James Bond, because what is the one thing we know about James Bond? He is very successful with the ladies. Like every single movie has a Bond girl, and there's normally more than one Bond girl. And, you know, some more recently, he's always been like a one woman man. But in the Roger Moore days, you know, he was hopping beds like a bedbug. And there is just this understanding that James Bond is a man who loves and appreciates women, but also he is very attractive to women. And I think I've nailed the 5 reasons why women are so attracted to James Bond. And not James Bond is a fictional character, obviously, but if you speak to women, they do find Daniel Craig or Pierce Brosnan or Sean Connery like attractive. They can see where that comes from. And so I thought it would be kind of interesting to those young men out there who want to be more successful with women and who are perhaps drawn to James Bond as a fandom because James Bond is so successful with women. And you're like, I want to be part of that. He's going to be my role model and help teach me things. This is what he can teach you. 5 reasons why women find James Bond attractive. And the first reason, the most important reason, perhaps, is that he is attractive. James Bond is super attractive. And I know you can watch like Diamonds Are Forever and see 42-year-old Sean Connery take his shirt off, and you're like, I don't quite see it myself. But James Bond is a fictional character, and as a fictional character, he is beautiful. And if you look at like young Pierce Brosnan or young Sean Connery, or Daniel Craig when he takes his shirt off. There are women like appreciate that. He is a really good looking guy. He is super attractive. And when it comes to women, the remarkable thing is like as blokes, we see women and, you know, if you have a scale of 1 to 10 of attractiveness, you know, it's a pretty easy curve like that from like 5 and 6, it starts going up, and we men find women who are over 5 or 6 in terms of attractiveness attractive, and we just find the more attractive ones even more attractive. They recently did a study with the way women and men use Tinder, and they found that yeah, you know, men generally from like 5 or 6 upwards would find women attractive, whereas women would only find men who were like 9 and 10 on the attractive scale attractive. It was like, what do they call it? The hockey stick. And that's because most women don't find attractive. They don't necessarily find them unattractive. I mean, I think there's like this, there is you're unattractive, as in you are ugly, you smell, whatever. And then there is this like grey section that goes all the way up to like 8 in the top 10 attractiveness thing of you're just neutral. You're not really attractive or unattractive. You might be more attractive than someone else in the same neutral area. But when a woman meets you, her first thought isn't, oh, I want to sleep with him. No, you're just neutral. And neutral's where most of us are. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I am not a super good looking person. I'm always been reasonably successful with women for reasons I'll get into. But yeah, for most of us, we are not super attractive. But when you find a man who is like a 9 or a 10, then women go nuts for them. It is really, really interesting. I used to work when I was bartender with this bartender called John, who came in only on Friday and Saturday nights. And I will say, hashtag no homo, that he was a beautiful guy. He was like 6'3". He looked like Henry Cavill. He had beautiful floppy brown hair. He went to the gym, so he had huge biceps and a slab-like chest. And women went nuts for him. I remember one time serving in the bar, and this girl comes up and she's like, "Oh, is John working tonight?" And I'm like, "Doesn't work here no more." And she's like, "Oh, I'll miss him. I remember the first night I met him, I offered to give him a blowjob in the toilet." And I was like, "What?" And listen, a fact that a lot of men don't know about women is if you are one of these men who is like super, super attractive, women will throw themselves at you. And it's just worth knowing that. So James Bond, the fictionalized version of him is like super, super attractive, and women throw themselves at him because he is super attractive. And this really is a thing. Some other people did some experiments on Tinder. They wrote like really quite rude, dirty, and salacious messages, and they sent them to random women, and they sent them from one account with a bunch of photos of this super attractive dude, and they sent the others from an account with photos of this regular dude. And the regular dude, all these messages he sent to all of these women, they were disgusted by, and they blocked him, and they were like, "What are you sending me this? This is disgusting. You gross guy." Whereas the really attractive guy, women would respond and flirt with him and come back and forth. And it just goes to show that if you are super attractive, then your relationship with women is going to be different to most of us men who fall in like this gray area. So you're listening to this and you're like, "Well, Roland, what am I going to do? I'm not super, super attractive." It's like most of us aren't. That's okay. As I said, there's like this scale. There is, up to like one to 3. Women do not find you attractive. You smell. You're ugly. There's something, that women find unattractive about you. Then there's just this big area right up until like 9 on the scale where you are just in a neutral zone, where women don't feel one way or another. You're just neutral when they first meet you, until women start thinking about having relationships and thinking about hooking up with a guy. And maybe there is not a 9 or a 10 around that they can throw themselves at, or maybe the 9 or 10, because women are throwing themselves at him, don't particularly go for them. And so they'll start looking in the neutral things and start saying, okay, this guy, he's attractive enough. And there are a variety of things that you can do to make yourself more attractive. And you might not ever be able to make yourself so attractive that women throw themselves at you, but you can certainly make yourself more attractive than you are right now. Get a haircut, trim your beard, or shave, or grow a beard. Go to the gym, put on some muscles. If you're fat, lose some weight. Have really, really good personal hygiene. Brush your teeth twice a day. Use mouthwash. Use deodorant. Have a shower every day. Change your shirt every day. Just basic stuff. But all of these little things, if you make an effort, then you become more attractive. And making an effort is something else that women find attractive. So you can be more successful with women, no matter what your level of attractiveness is, by making an effort to be more attractive. And if you happen to be super, super attractive, that's great. Good for you. You're probably not the target audience for this video. So number 2 about why women find James Bond so attractive. Well, he's rich, isn't he? And actually, it's kind of an interesting. James Bond, the character, I think, his parents are orphans, and I think he got blessed a trust fund or something. So he's clearly not hurting for cash, but also he works for the civil service and he goes on all these missions, and the government pays for everything. So they give him an Aston Martin to drive, and he can stay at the Ritz-Carlton, and he can expense all these amazing meals that he has. And in his cover as an affluent gentleman, he gets to have all of the trappings of being super wealthy, and women find that really attractive. And it's not because women are gold diggers or something. I think it is really because women find it really attractive when first of all, a man's just capable of looking after himself. He can pay his bills, and he has his own home, and he's got his shit together. But also, if you are the kind of person who's driving an Aston Martin and wearing a Tom Ford suit and blowing £1,000 on gambling, and then going out for a beautiful dinner and vintage wine and stuff, that's attractive to be part of that lifestyle. And yeah, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I don't make a huge amount of money and the government's not paying for me to live a lavish lifestyle, I get that. But you can make yourself more attractive to women, and women will find you attractive if you just be a little discerning. Enjoy the luxury. Buy nice clothes. You don't necessarily need to buy like an Omega watch, but just be deliberate in what you buy and what you do, and live. Yeah, you want to live an elevated lifestyle. You want to at very least be able to pay all your bills and be financially secure. I think that is an essential for any man who wants to have self-respect. I think it's more challenging for a lot of young men these days. But yeah, we live in the 21st century. I live in America. If you're watching this, you probably live in the Western world, in which case, no matter what your background, there are opportunities for you to become more financially successful, whether it's entrepreneurialism, whether it's going down a different career path. There are opportunities available for you. And so if you want to be more attractive to women, that is definitely something that you should look into. So at the moment, it's quite a lot of self-improvement. There's the making yourself more attractive and then making yourself have more money. But those are both really absolutely valid ways in which women will be more likely to find you attractive. Number 3. Now, this is an important one. James Bond is dangerous. Because he is. He's a killer. Stone cold killer. But he is dangerous. And women find dangerous men attractive. And I have read so many romance novels that I know this very much to be true. Women find men who could kill another man with their bare hands attractive. Now, you have to position this in a way. Women find dangerous men attractive as long as they are not dangerous to them. Women find dangerous men attractive because they want a man who can look after them and protect them and look after themselves and protect themselves. And they don't want a man who is dangerous to them, who can't keep his temper, who loses his shit, who, I don't know, drinks and drives, who takes drugs, who lives irresponsibly, who presents a danger to themselves or a danger to those they're with. They like a man who is dangerous in that he is very, very competent. And obviously, in all the romance novels that I read, it's dangerous as in they're vampires or they're bikers or something like that. But you can also be dangerous just by being competent. You can be dangerous by being successful at sales or something because you are very good at being persuasive. You can be dangerous. You just have to. You have to be a little bit dangerous. As Jordan Peterson, he always says that, and I know people hate Jordan Peterson, but sometimes he says a couple of good things. He says that you can't be good unless you have the capacity to be evil. Like if you are, he does it. If you're just a rabbit, then you're harmless, and you don't get any virtuous points for being good if you do lack the capacity to be evil. But if you have the capacity to be evil and dangerous and hurt people, and you choose not to, then you are a good person. So you have to have that capacity. And women find the capacity to be dangerous attractive, and they do not find niceness attractive. As I said, if you're a rabbit, if you're just nice, you don't get any points of that, because being nice is being inoffensive and being able to exist in a world in which you do not become victimized. But if you lack the ability to do the victimization, if you are not a dangerous person, then you don't get any bonus points for that. You're just surviving. Being nice is like a null. It doesn't stand for anything. So you need to be dangerous. What can you do in terms of this for you young men out there? Well, you know what? Take up a martial art. Go and do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Go to the gym a lot and work out and get some muscles and become really persuasive. become notorious so people know you, organize things, do things, have a presence on social media so people are aware of you. Yeah, be dangerous in whatever capacity that means. And you want to be dangerous in a way that any women you interact with feel safe. They feel safer with you because you are dangerous to other people in an actual physical way, or maybe, I don't know, an economic way or a persuasive way or something like that. And number four, James Bond is funny. James Bond is a very witty person. I mean, we've got all the one-liners that James Bond has when he kills people and stuff like that, and he can say charming things to women. Um, it's he is a witty person, and they always say if you can make a woman laugh, then you've already like opened a crack that you can get into a heart with. And also, if you are witty, then it shows you're intelligent, and women find intelligence very attractive. Intelligence goes back into the dangerous thing. Intelligent men are dangerous. Like Oppenheimer, he might not have been able to win a fist fight, but he created the atom bomb. He was a dangerous man. Intelligence is dangerous. Intelligence is attractive, and being able to be witty and funny is attractive. However, one of the other things you'll notice about James Bond, he doesn't actually talk that much. No, he doesn't. He's very curt, and he's not chatty. And the one thing he definitely doesn't do is ever try and draw attention to himself. Attention gets drawn to him because he's a tall, attractive, good-looking, dangerous man who works in the spy business. But he doesn't need to be the center of attention. He doesn't need to make people notice him. He doesn't need to speak. He graces people with speech. But if he doesn't need to speak, he doesn't say anything. And women find that very, very attractive, because to a certain extent, women like project what they think, what they want you to be onto you. And the only way you can screw that up is by opening your mouth and disproving whatever vision of you that they actually have. And so I would always say, be concise with your words. You can be charming and witty and be entertaining, but always listen twice as much as you speak. And yeah, don't ever try and be the center of attention. Don't ever try and impress somebody. I think that comes into the fifth point, the fifth reason why women find James Bond so attractive. And that is precisely because, contrary to popular belief, because James Bond is a womanizer and stuff like that, James Bond doesn't chase women. He doesn't chase women. If you watch all the movies, he doesn't chase women. He just ends up in environments in which he interacts with women. They find him attractive. He returns their signals of interest and hook up and stuff like that. Chasing women is something that certain people, like pickup artists and stuff like that, they do to have interactions with women, and fair enough, that works for them. But I always say a quote attributed to Ian Fleming from For Your Eyes Only was, in love there is always one who kisses and one who offers the cheek. There is always one who is chasing the person, and there is always one who is stopping and allowing to be chased. What is it they say, that men chase them until women catch them. And chasing women, a lot of women find unattractive. Like if a man is pursuing her, some women can find that very attractive, but if he's pursuing multiple women, then it's kind of like, oh well, he's just a bit desperate. And if you're chasing a woman and maybe she's not super into you, it comes across as a bit desperate and unattractive. So what I can say is, you guys out there, work on, number one, being attractive, and number two, being wealthy, and number three, being dangerous, and then just be in the environment of women, around women, and just, yeah, don't chase them, don't pursue them, just have interactions with them, have friendships with them, listen to them. And if you are getting those first 3 points right, at some point there is going to be a woman who finds you attractive, and at that point you can start maybe nudging towards some kind of relationship, but you don't want to go around chasing women. Another friend of mine from years ago, she always said something very true, which is, whatever you're chasing has to be retreating. And that's the case with women. If you're chasing women, they're running away from you. And yeah, that's number 5 on my list. So we'll wrap that up. But I would love to know what you thought about my advice, whether you think it's useful, and also whether you would like me to make more videos like this, because I could quite get into making videos giving young men advice about love and romance. So if that is something that interests you, let me know and I'll make more videos. And until then, ciao.
Hey guys, if you like what I do and you'd ever fancy buying me a pint, you could buy a copy of one of my books instead. Right now, I'm running a special offer on my favourite book out of all the ones I've written, High Point. You can buy the ebook or you could buy a signed paperback delivered right to your door. Follow the link, check it out, and I appreciate every single one of you who supports my writing by buying a copy.